I stared at the empty driveway where my car used to be and heard my mother's voice through the phone say, "Your brother deserves this more than you do." If you've ever been treated like a backup plan in your own family, please subscribe and tell me where you're watching from. My name is Lauren. I'm 24 years old, and I work as a medical lab technician at a regional hospital. I'd saved for 3 years to buy my car outright, a 2012 Honda Civic that I paid $6,200 for in cash. I kept the title in my dresser drawer in a manila folder with all my other important documents. Or at least I thought I did. May 11th, 2024 was the day that changed everything. But before I tell you what happened that Saturday morning, you need to understand that this pattern started long before anyone touched my car. I was 14 when my parents pulled me out of the regional science fair the night before my presentation. They said they needed to drive 3 hours to watch my brother Ethan play in a club soccer tournament. I'd spent 2 months building a model wastewater treatment system. My teacher, Mrs. Alvarez, had stayed after school with me every Thursday. I remember standing in the hotel lobby with my project board under my arm, while my dad paid for a room they'd booked for Ethan's team parents. No one asked if I was okay. Ethan was 11. I was 17 when my parents spent the money they'd promised me for a laptop, money I'd earned working at a garden center all summer, on a trip to an elite soccer camp in California for Ethan. My mom sat me down at the kitchen table and said, "You understand, right? This is a real opportunity for him." I worked my first semester of community college on a library desktop that I had to reserve in 30-minute blocks. I was 21 when I asked my parents if I could host Thanksgiving at my new apartment. I'd just signed my first lease. My dad laughed and said, "Sweetheart, we can't miss Ethan's tournament weekend. Maybe next year." There was no next year. Ethan had a tournament every year. So when I came home from a night shift at 7:43 a.m. on May 11th and saw that my parking spot was empty, my first thought wasn't confusion. It was recognition. I called my mom. She answered on the 4th ring. "Oh, honey, I meant to text you," she said. Her voice was light, casual, like she was telling me she'd picked up the wrong kind of yogurt. "Where's my car?" I asked. "We sold it," she said. "We got $4,500. The buyer came yesterday afternoon." I stood in the middle of the driveway. The asphalt was still wet from the morning dew. I could see the faint oil stain where my car used to sit. "You sold my car," I repeated. "Ethan got invited on a trip to Costa Rica with his travel team," Mom said. "It's a 10-day training intensive with a professional coach. This could change his whole trajectory, Lauren. The trip costs $4,000, and we needed to put the deposit down by yesterday." "That's my car," I said. "My name is on the title." There was a pause. Then my mom said, "We're on the title too, sweetie. You remember? We co-signed when you bought it so you could get better insurance rates." I did remember. I remembered my dad saying it was just a formality, that it would save me $60 a month. I remembered signing the paperwork at the DMV with both my parents beside me. I remembered my dad clapping me on the shoulder and saying, "Look at you being so responsible." "You had no right," I said. My voice cracked. "Lauren, don't be dramatic," my mom said. "You can take the bus to work. Ethan needs this. He's worked so hard. You of all people should understand what it's like to chase a dream." "I bought that car with my own money," I said. "And we've spent 24 years raising you," my mom said. Her voice had an edge now. "I think we've more than paid our share. Ethan is 19. This is his moment. You're settled. You have a career. He deserves a chance to build something too." She hung up. I sat down on the curb. A neighbor walked past walking his dog and waved. I didn't wave back. I opened my banking app and looked at my savings account. I had $932. I'd been saving for a security deposit on a better apartment in a neighborhood closer to the hospital. Now I was staring at an empty driveway and a bus route that would add 90 minutes to my daily commute. That night I called my friend Simone. We'd met in our anatomy class 3 years ago, and she'd become the kind of person who told me the truth even when I didn't want to hear it. I told her everything. "Lauren," she said, "do you hear yourself? They stole your car. They were on the title," I said. "Because they lied to you about why," Simone said. "That's called fraud. And even if it wasn't, what kind of parents sell their daughter's car without asking her?" "They needed the money for Ethan," I said. "They always need something for Ethan," Simone said. "When are you going to need something for Lauren?" I didn't have an answer. Simone sighed. "Listen to me. You need to document everything. Every conversation. Every receipt. Every time they've chosen him over you. And then you need to decide if you're going to keep letting them do this." I spent that whole night awake. I made a list on my laptop. I called it Operation Tally. I wrote down every instance I could remember where my parents had redirected resources meant for me to Ethan instead. The science fair, the laptop, Thanksgiving, a pair of noise-canceling headphones I'd bought with birthday money that my mom had given to Ethan when he said he needed them for studying, a spring break trip I'd planned with friends that I'd canceled because my parents said they needed help watching Ethan while they went to a coaching seminar. By 4 a.m., I had 4 single-spaced pages. Then I opened my bank records and my old emails. My parents had borrowed money from me 6 times in the past 3 years. Small amounts, $200 here, $300 there. Just until payday, my dad always said. I'd sent it via a payment app every time. I had receipts for all of it. Total amount, $1,700. I'd never asked for it back because it felt petty. At 6 a.m., I called a lawyer's office and left a voicemail asking about a consultation for a civil case. On Monday, May 13th, I went to the DMV. I brought my original bill of sale from when I bought the car. I brought my insurance documents with my name as the primary driver. I brought my bank statement showing the $6,200 withdrawal on the day of purchase. The clerk was a woman in her 50s named Donna. She looked at everything and then looked at me. "Honey, your parents are listed as co-owners," she said. "Legally, they had the right to sell. Even without telling me?" I asked. Donna's face softened. "Legal and right aren't always the same thing," she said. She printed out the sale record. The buyer's name was Michael Chen. The sale price was $4,500. The date was May 10th, 2024 at 3:18 p.m. I'd been at work. I called the lawyer back. His name was Roger Finch. The consultation cost $150, which I paid with my credit card. Mr. Finch was in his 60s with a gray beard and wire-rimmed glasses. His office smelled like coffee and old paper. "Do I have a case?" I asked. He read through my documents. Then he sat back in his chair. "Technically, no," he said. "They were legal co-owners. They had the right to sell the vehicle without your consent." I felt something collapse in my chest. "But," Mr. Finch said, "you have a solid case for the money they borrowed from you. $1,700 plus the value of the items they took. And if you can prove that they misrepresented their reason for being on the title, that they told you it was only for insurance purposes and that you wouldn't have agreed otherwise, you might have a fraud claim. It's a long shot, but it's something." "What do I do?" I asked. "You write them a letter," Mr. Finch said. "A formal demand letter. You outline exactly what they owe you and you give them 30 days to pay. If they don't, you file in small claims court. You can represent yourself. The filing fee is $75. He helped me draft the letter right there. It was 1 page long. It itemized the $1,700 in loans. It listed the headphones valued at $280. It demanded repayment of $4,500 for the car or the return of a vehicle of equivalent value. Total demand, $6,480. I gave them until June 13th, 2024. I sent the letter certified mail on May 14th. My mother called me at 9:22 p.m. on May 16th, the day she signed for the letter. "What is this?" she asked. Her voice was shaking. "It's a demand letter," I said. "I want my money back." "Lauren, this is insane," she said. We're your parents. You sold my car without asking me, I said. You borrowed money you never paid back. I'm asking nicely now. If you don't pay by June 13th, I'm filing a lawsuit. You would sue your own family? My mom asked. You sold your own daughter's car, I said. My dad got on the line. Lauren, sweetheart, let's talk about this, he said. We can work something out. You have 30 days, I said, and I hung up. The next week was silent. No calls, no texts. I took the bus to work every day, 90 minutes each way. I listened to podcasts and tried not to think about my empty driveway. On May 24th, my brother Ethan called me. What are you doing? He asked. What am I doing? I said. Mom's crying every night, Ethan said. Dad's furious. You're tearing this family apart over money. They sold my car to pay for your vacation, I said. It's not a vacation, Ethan said. It's a training opportunity. And they didn't have a choice. I had to go. You didn't have to go, I said. You're 19 years old. You could have gotten a job and saved up. You could have asked me. You could have done anything except let them steal from me. They didn't steal, Ethan said. They were on the title. Because they lied to me, I said. Ethan was quiet. Then he said, I didn't know you felt this way. You never asked, I said. He hung up. On June 1st, I got a text from my mom. It was a photo of a check made out to me for $1,700. The memo line said, loan repayment. The text said, this is all we can do right now. Please don't take us to court. I texted back. The demand was for $6,480. You have 12 days. On June 10th, 3 days before the deadline, my parents showed up at my apartment. It was 6:47 p.m. I was eating reheated pasta at my kitchen counter. My dad knocked. I opened the door. We need to talk, my dad said. I let them in. My mom's eyes were red. My dad looked exhausted. We sat in my tiny living room. I didn't offer them anything to drink. We can't pay $6,000, my dad said. We don't have it. Then get a loan, I said. Lauren, we have a mortgage, my mom said. We have bills. Ethan's tuition is due in August. That's not my problem, I said. My dad leaned forward. What do you want from us? He asked. I want my car back, I said. Or I want the money you got for it. And I want an apology. We can give you the $1,700, my dad said. And maybe another $1,000 by the end of summer. But $6,000? That's not possible. You found $4,000 in a day for Ethan's trip, I said. That was different, my mom said. How? I asked. Neither of them answered. I stood up. I'm filing the lawsuit on June 14th, I said. You can leave now. My mom started crying. My dad put his arm around her. They walked to the door. My dad turned back. I hope you're happy, he said. I'm not, I said, but I'm done being invisible. I filed the small claims case on June 14th at 9 a.m. Case number SC 2024-08471. The hearing was scheduled for August 2nd, 2024. My parents hired a lawyer. His name was on the response they filed, Martin Griggs, attorney at law. The response argued that the car sale was legal, that the loans were gifts, and that I was trying to extort my own family. I read it alone in my apartment and felt something harden in my chest. Simone came with me to the hearing. We sat in a beige courtroom with fluorescent lights and plastic chairs. My parents sat on the other side with Mr. Griggs. Ethan wasn't there. The judge was a woman in her 50s named Judge Patricia Hale. She read through both sides. Then she looked up. This is a family matter? She asked. Yes, Your Honor, I said. Judge Hale looked at my parents. You sold your daughter's car without her knowledge to fund a trip for your son? Mr. Griggs stood. They were legal co-owners, Your Honor. The sale was within their rights. I'm not asking you, Judge Hale said. She looked at my dad. Is that what happened? My dad glanced at Mr. Griggs, then he nodded. Yes, Your Honor, he said. But we needed the money. Our son had an opportunity. Judge Hale looked at me. And you want reimbursement? Yes, Your Honor, I said. I handed her my binder. I'd organized everything. The bill of sale, the bank records, the payment app receipts, the emails where my parents had asked to borrow money, the text messages. Judge Hale spent 5 minutes reading. Then she closed the binder. Here's what I see, she said. A young woman who worked hard, bought a car with her own money, and trusted her parents to be on the title for insurance purposes. Parents who took advantage of that trust to sell the car without her knowledge or consent. And a pattern of financial imbalance in this family that heavily favors the son. She looked at my parents. You owe your daughter $4,500 for the car and $1,700 for the loans. Total, $6,200. You have 90 days to pay in full or set up a payment plan through the court. If you fail to pay, Ms. Lauren can pursue wage garnishment. My mother made a small sound. My dad's face went pale. Furthermore, Judge Hale said, I'm ordering that Ms. Lauren be removed from any jointly held titles or accounts with you unless she consents in writing. This kind of thing shouldn't happen to anyone, but especially not to a daughter from her own parents. She signed the order. The hearing lasted 11 minutes. Outside the courthouse, my parents walked past me without saying a word. Mr. Griggs shook his head and followed them. Simone hugged me. You did it, she said. I didn't feel victorious. I felt hollow. My parents set up a payment plan. $200 a month for 31 months. The first check arrived on August 15th, 2024. It came in the mail with no note. I didn't hear from them for 3 months. No calls, no texts, no holiday invitations. Ethan posted photos from Costa Rica on social media. He was tanned and smiling, holding a soccer ball on a beach at sunset. I didn't comment. In November, my mom texted me. Can we talk? We met at a coffee shop on November 9th, 2024 at 2 p.m. She ordered a latte. I ordered black coffee. We sat by the window. I'm sorry, she said. I waited. I didn't realize how much we'd hurt you, she said. Your dad and we got so focused on Ethan's dreams that we forgot you had dreams too. We thought you were fine because you were doing well. You had a job. You had your own place. We didn't see how much we'd taken from you. You didn't forget, I said. You chose. My mom's eyes filled with tears. You're right, she said. We did, and I can't take that back, but I want to try to make things better. How? I asked. I don't know yet, she said, but I'm asking for a chance. I looked at her. She looked older than I remembered, smaller. I'm not going back to the way things were, I said. I'm not going to be the one who gives up everything so Ethan can have more. I understand, she said. And I need you to tell Ethan the truth, I said. I need him to know what you did. Not some version where I'm the bad guy. The actual truth. My mom nodded. I'll talk to him, she said. We finished our coffee. She hugged me before she left. It felt fragile, uncertain, like we were both holding our breath. 2 weeks later, Ethan called me. Mom told me everything, he said. I didn't know. I'm sorry. Okay, I said. I want to pay you back, he said. For my part of it. The trip cost $4,000. I'll get a job. I'll send you money every month. You don't have to do that, I said. Yeah, I do, Ethan said. I didn't ask them to sell your car, but I went on the trip knowing they'd scrambled to pay for it. I should have asked questions. I should have wondered where the money came from. He sent me $150 on November 30th, and then another $150 on December 28th. He's still sending it. My parents paid off the court judgment in full on April 2nd, 2025. They sent a cashier's check for the remaining balance, $4,000, with a note that said, We're sorry. We love you. I deposited the check. I bought a 2014 Toyota Corolla for $7,300. I paid in cash. The title has only my name on it. I keep it in a fireproof safe in my closet. I still see my parents. We have dinner once a month. It's stiff sometimes. There are topics we avoid. But we're trying. My mom asks about my work now. My dad remembers the names of my friends. Ethan came to my apartment last month and helped me assemble a bookshelf. He didn't talk about soccer once. I'm not sure if we'll ever get back to easy. Maybe we won't. Maybe that version of us, the version where I smiled and stayed quiet and let them choose Ethan over and over, is gone for good. But I look at my car in the parking lot every morning, and I know something I didn't know before. I know what I'm worth. And I know that people who love you don't get to steal from you just because you share DNA. If someone in your life is treating you like a backup plan, don't wait for permission to stand up for yourself. The people who truly care about you will prove it with their actions, not just their words. Drop a comment and let me know where you're watching from. And if this story meant something to you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is stop being invisible.